everybody, and welcome to today's General Hospital Recap. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of the upcoming fun in Port Charles.
Woo! Hi, everyone. It's late. Thanks for putting up with us. If this is your first time watching, I'm sorry. But if it's not, I hope you enjoyed that. Let's get to today's recap because lots going on in Port Charles. So at the Floating Rib, apparently we're starting there. That's totally not where I started taking my notes, though. So Andre catches Morgan at the bar, and needless to say, he's not happy because you're not supposed to mix alcohol with bipolar medication, or like any medication. So Morgan says he's not drinking. He's waiting for his food. Oh, gosh, Andre, how could you jump to such conclusions? So Morgan says that he went for his blood test, and but, he doesn't really want to talk to Andre in public. And Andre's like, I understand. Not to be mean. Like, everyone knows he's a therapist and this, that. Oh, Mischa. Oh, seriously, Mischa? Darn. So after Andre leaves, Morgan tells the barkeep that he'll need another beer. Another? Thought you weren't drinking, liar. So plot device Darby shows up, and he says he got expelled from school because of her and buying a paper online. And she asks if he ran it through a plagiarism scanner or something, and he's like, you never said to do that. And she's like, well, I didn't think I'd have to walk you through it. Really? Like, you're telling someone to maybe do something. It's the first time they're not familiar with it, and you just assume they I can't stand her. But that's the point of her. You can't stand her, so I can't really hold it against her. So Darby has some nice things to say about Kiki, like that she has the patience of a saint and stayed with him through the whole STI debacle. And I'm like, okay, Darby, you've done enough for this episode. See you next time there's a crisis. At the Metro Court, Kiki is Tracy's waitress, and Tracy just wants a drink. She's waiting for Ned, and she doesn't want to talk to Kiki. And Kiki tells her she keeps trying to call Dylan, and Dylan's not picking up. And Tracy's like, yeah, maybe he doesn't want to talk to the person who threw him aside. And I'm like, I don't disagree with you there. So Kiki tells Olivia that she's gonna go talk to Dylan, and Olivia's like, say no more, you're fine. And Kiki's like, well, I have someone to cover my shift, so don't worry. At the boathouse, Dylan is tearing the boathouse apart. Ned is trying to make him feel better by offering basically a joyride in a Maserati, and I'm like, I'll take it, I need to feel better, hey. And Dylan is looking for a fishing rod that was a present from Paul, and he wants to put everything he ever got from Paul in a fire pit and burn it. Now, he mentions a check, and I know he's already used the majority of the check, but hey, you don't have to burn it. There are other people who could maybe use part of that $500,000 check, okay? So Ned tells him the story of his 8th birthday party, and basically all he wanted was his father's attention, and then his father actually showed up, and it was the greatest thing, and he gave him these diamond-encrusted cufflinks, and then, he kind of pulled a Larry Ashford and was escorted out of the party, and it didn't end on such nice terms, and the diamond cufflinks turned out to be pewter, and just the whole thing was a mess, and he didn't even see his father for 10 more years after that. So his point of the story was our fathers are always going to be with us. We just need to learn how to live with it. So Kiki comes over after Ned leaves, and she wants to stay with Dylan because he stayed with her after she was shot. And he gives her the task of finding the fishing rod, and she knows exactly where it is. She opens the little closet, and she's like, this fishing rod? Yeah, she used to live there. Of course, she's probably the one who put it there. So he says that Tracy always said he was better off without his father, and he never really wanted to believe it. And then, he fell for Paul's, I don't even know the right word for it, but when Paul came back in his life, he, totally just allowed himself to, build a relationship with his father. And, then he wanted his help and encouragement and validation, and then he breaks the fishing rod and cuts his hand. Not good. At the PCPD, this is where there's some jumping around, PCPD jail, so bear with me. So at the PCPD, Michael asks to see Dante, and he sees a gun on the officer he's talking to, and Michael reaches for it, and then Sonny grabs his arm. Thank goodness. What was your plan? It's a bad plan. So Michael says the gun would have gotten him far enough, and Sonny's like, he just takes him aside and says, look, you have to let the law take care of it. And Sonny says that, where was I? Oh, that it'll be handled if the courts don't handle it, so don't worry about it. So then Sonny says that Michael's, he's better than him, not to do that. Stay that, not to do this whole revenge thing. Stay that way. And, Sonny warns him that they'll only see him as a criminal and the son of a criminal if he does something like this. And that doesn't really resonate with Michael. So then Sonny's like, fine, look, revenge is expensive and it'll cost you the rest of your life. So is it worth it? And it's not. So Michael says that he's more like Sonny than any of the other kids because he knows how Sonny thinks. And I was like, ooh, this is where we get like mob boss Michael. And it's like my favorite Michael. Please, now that he he doesn't have Sabrina or Teddy to worry about, please start getting into business because that's what I want. I know it's not good and I know it'll be really bad for Michael, but like I can't stop feeling that way. I've tried. I can't. I think I like super intense like Michael. I really do. He's just the best Michael. All right. So back at the Metro Court, Ned and Olivia briefly talk. Oh, they kill me. They're so good together. Just be together, please. Julian's out of the picture and just, come on. So, make that happen. So Ned and Tracy are having dinner, I think. And, Ned gets right to it. Not just cutting all the corners, just going right in and says that they need to kill Paul. Not them specifically, but if she still has connections to I forget the name. But that first mob family she was connected to, but he'd settle for Sonny to do the job. And she's like, no. First of all, no. You just need to concentrate on Dylan. Just concentrate on him. And she says she'll concentrate on the hospital and get it reopened. And Ned tells her to face what Paul did to her or else she's never going to, get over it. So Ava talks to Olivia, and Olivia just doesn't want to talk to her. So she's asking where Kiki is, and Olivia's like, oh no, she said something about Dylan, just whatever, and walks away. So Ava, says ooh, Kiki and Dylan, and then Morgan walks in behind her, and I'm like, oh no, literally the oest of no's. So Morgan asks Ava if she knows where Kiki is, and Ava's like, I should stay out of it, I don't feel comfortable, I should stay out of it, and Morgan pushes. Ava's pulling him in, reeling him in. And then, Ava says Dylan was upset, after, finding out about Paul. And, Kiki went to comfort him, but I'm sure nothing romantic is happening. I'm like, oh my God, you are playing him like a harp. I know I could have picked any instrument, but I chose harp. So at the jail, in the jail, Jordan, darn, I did put something out of order. Oh well. So Jordan tells Paul that he'll be transferred to Pentonville at any time, and he wants to tell her something. And then Jordan kind of shuts him down, and I'm like, she's like, nobody's gonna offer you a place, so there's no point in trying to mitigate anything. So he says, look, I'm not trying to do that. I'm pleading guilty on all the charges. I'm not gonna make my family go through a trial. It's not worth it. And Paul apparently isn't gonna turn Ava in, and I'm like, oh, and then Ava, who's down here, who was down there before, but Carly messed up the chronological order. I should have just left it. ECAT, I'm a bad person. But anyway, so yeah, Ava doesn't buy that he's just being this oh, I'm so nice. So he won't give her the flash drive because he might need it for leverage in the future. So he has no plans on totally going away. And she says that, she'll be there for him no matter what, even without the flash drive. Come on, you don't trust me, Ava Jerome? And can you tell I'm a little salty towards Ava? Yeah, so I don't believe that's happening for a second. And he tells her to be there for her daughters before any damage is done. And I was like, oh, sweetheart, there's already so much damage. So Michael comes downstairs to the jail, and he'd like very much to kill Paul, but he's decided it's not worth throwing his life away. He has to go, be a mob boss in the future. Hey. So, he wants answers. Why did he have to kill Sabrina? And he wants answers so he can tell Teddy when Teddy starts asking questions, because Paul will probably not be around anymore. Like that little dig Michael got in there. But Real fast, I'm going to interject something here. I was kind of hoping this hospital killer thing would go on a little longer, because killing Sabrina so close to them figuring out who the hospital killer was felt a little Derek Wells, Julian Jerome-y with Ava killing Connie, that then people found out, like, next week. So, like, what was the point of killing Connie? So it kind of was reminiscent of that to me. Don't know if anyone else got that. Like, it was bad enough they killed Sabrina, but, like, I don't know, kind of took away from it a little bit. Like, finding out who the hospital killer was so close, or them finding out who the hospital killer was so close to her death. But that's just me. So let me know if that's just me. Maybe it's you too. Are other people feeling this way? So where was I? Paul tells Michael to tell Teddy that his mother died a hero, which was not exactly what I was expecting to hear. So Tracy's standing in the background and tells the whole, Paul's telling the whole, Sabrina found Monica, saved Monica's life, and then, she figured out it was me, and I knew I had to do something, or, like, basically Sabrina was, like, gonna turn him in and save Monica's life, and, she died a hero. He's the one who killed her. So then Michael starts kind of going a little bit off the deep end and starts asking, like, how long it took and was she afraid? And then Tracy puts a stop to it. She's like, no. No. Bad Paul and bad Michael. No. Back at the PCPD upstairs, Andre comes to visit Jordan with food, and she says she's resigning, and Andre doesn't want her to resign because she's, like, a pinnacle for poor Charles, and she's someone for so many people to look up to, and, so many little girls, and, like, just to look to her and see her in this, like, this high position of power, and, he doesn't support her decision to resign. And I'm not quite sure I do either. I like her as police commissioner, and I feel she's gotten things done that she can get done. I mean, if you put her up against, like, Mac or something. Now, admittedly, I didn't watch when it was, like, the text message killer and, like, with the hostage crisis at the Metro Court and stuff like that. I think I might have seen the last year or 2 years of Mac's tenure as police commissioner. And then Anna, she got some stuff. I don't know. I feel like Jordan's done a good job, like, just keeping the PCPD moving forward. You know what I mean? So anyway, at Casa Corinthos, Dante comes over to see Sonny, and he and Carly talk, which goes over just about as well as you think it does. So he wants to talk about Sonny going after Julie and Jerome, and he's worried about escalated violence. So they get in a bit of a fight, but like a Carly-Dante fight, not like they used to. Remember that. So Carly says by letting the legal system work and Julian walk free, it sends a message to Sonny's enemies that Sonny can't protect his family. And then Sonny comes home and he tells Dante to worry about Michael and Morgan, not him. And then Sonny tells Dante that Morgan was expelled, and Dante brings up the war with Julie and Jerome, and Sonny's like, why bring that up in front of Carly? And we're all just like LOLing over here, like, really? So Dante tells him to let it go, and Sonny's like, LOL. And Dante feels obligated to protect his son, and he doesn't want Rocco getting caught in the crossfire, and if the choice is between saving Rocco and taking Sonny down, he will not hesitate. And I was like, ooh, this is like a side of Dante we've never really seen before to this extent, you know? And now end scene, I know. So Tracy tells Michael to go home, and Michael says he felt no closure or satisfaction, and he wants a refund. And and Tracy's like, look, move forward. That's how you honor Sabrina. Take comfort in the fact that Paul has no family. Like, you have family. Paul has no family. Jordan asks Michael what he's doing there, and Jordan tells him because Michael's upstairs now. Jordan tells him Paul pled guilty, so there won't be a trial. Tracy feels validated in her decision to keep Dylan away from Paul as a child. Tracy tells him to never even think of Dylan again. Carly tells Dante that Sonny has every right to be concerned, and she really takes control of the room and tells Sonny to outmaneuver Julian another way. And Dante's like, see, that's all I want. Like, that's all I'm asking for. And then Sonny says, look, I'm not pulling the trigger on Julian. And Dante's like, yeah, we all know what that means. Like, we're not stupid. I'll say that till the end. So Jordan asks Paul about how the Julian Jerome case fell apart, because she knows he threw it, because she knows her paperwork was right, and he says, ask Ava, and I was like, oh, girl, yes! Andre asked the lab to send Morgan Corinthos' blood work to him first thing in the morning, and it sounds like he never came in for his blood work, and then Ava overhears that, and Morgan is coming to the boathouse, like, full on rah rah rah. The door is locked, and he sees Kiki and Dylan kissing through the window. But it's like a shade, like it's their shadows. And I was like, was that hallucination or is that really happening? I do not know. And so yeah, and real fast, a little note I wanted to put in there. Can we talk about how the camera guy was having a lot of fun in today's episode with the foreground and background shifting of the focus? It happened in the beginning with the jail with Ava and Jordan, and then Paul, and like he switched the focus, and then it happened at the end with Ava and Andre in the background, and then it happened in like 2 more times, but I can't really, like, you know, they're not coming out in my mind, but I know it happened at least 2 more times because I took notice of it. Can you tell I took like a video class? Like, can you tell? Thank you for watching today's recap. Unfortunately, it's going to go up a bit later than it even should be because Mischa decided to knock down my tripod in the middle, and I liked so much how it was going that I'm going to edit that part out. So, 1 more extra step, gonna be later tonight, but you know, feel worse for me because I still gotta work out after all this, so I'm gonna be up until like 2 in the morning. But you know what? It means a lot that you're all here. I really love all your comments. I meant to respond to them today, but kind of forgot I had a second job to do today, and now here's my 3rd job today, so yay. But you know, thank you so much for being here. You guys really make it all worth it, and I will see you tomorrow for more General Hospital. Shouldn't be this late, hopefully.